saying to the guys?
Yeah, proud of the way the receivers battled back. Wingo made some phenomenal catches, Demo, Emmett. And then I can't, against teams like that, you can't miss any throws, and you got to play well the whole game.
Arch, in the second quarter, the defense gave you 4 straight punts, forcing the offense to get other points. How crucial is it when the defense hands the ball 4 straight times to come with some sort of offensive offense?
Yeah, we got to score every time we get the ball, especially against good teams like that. Yeah.
Arch, what was working early and why did it all go south late?
We got to finish the game. We got to play well on all 3 phases, beat teams like that. And they played better than us in all 3 phases tonight.
How much does the road environment play a factor when you feel like you might be able to deal with just down 4 and then suddenly you're down 18 or whatever it was?
Yeah, we just didn't really play well. I don't think the road factor had anything to do with it. We just got to play better against a good team.
Did you feel good coming into this game? Feel good about the game coming into this matchup and just opportunity that you guys had to play a team like Georgia at this point in the season?
Yeah, obviously that's why you come to Texas to play these type of games, play these time games. Just frustrated, disappointed that we didn't play better.
What's the most frustrating part of this?
Losing.
You were talking to the team before the fourth quarter, kind of hyping everybody up. What did you say?
Just you got to win the 4th quarter. That's one of our things that we talk about each week, winning the 4th. Thought we were in a pretty good spot. Just kind of got out of control, and it starts with me. I got to play better. I got to lead better, and we got to get back to work and stick together throughout these last 2 weeks.
Are you still thinking about their defense?
Yeah, they're well coached. They run the ball and they play well together.
Are you still able to recognize the progress you've made, where you still have to go, or is that maybe something you say for a different time, not at the postgame?
Look, everyone's trying to get better each week and trying to learn from mistakes and continue to grow. I'm just frustrated about this loss.
Alrighty, that was a really good game until the start of the 4th quarter. It was 14-10. They get the ball and they convert 2 4th downs. They score. The onside kick. They score again. They pop a kickoff down there. We get pinned inside the 10. Shank a punt. They score again. It was 21-0 in the 4th quarter. So great job by Georgia. I thought they did a nice job. I wish we could have taken advantage of a few things earlier in the game, offensively, especially in the first half, that we just weren't able to. And at that point, it was unfortunate because we thought we could have had a more balanced attack, and we didn't. Because we got behind in the 4th quarter, we had to start throwing at that point. So disappointing. It was a pretty good game for 3 quarters, and it was not a great game in the 4th quarter, at least not for us. So I think the challenge for us now is we got a 2-week season in front of us, and we got to get up off the mat. We got to go compete, and we got to find a way to go win the next 2 ball games and see what happens. So that's that.
Raise your hand if you have a question. Start with Joe. Your offense has become very pass happy over the past few weeks, but in the past few games in Georgia and even this season, your team doesn't really run the ball.
I thought we actually ran it pretty good. We just didn't get enough opportunities.
James, go ahead.
Even that 4th quarter, you think it was just lost composure? What do you attribute?
I don't know. The first 4th down, they snuck the tailback out of the backfield, out the back door. We didn't defend the play very well. It's unfortunate because we actually practiced that play. And the second 4th down, we jumped off sides. And that's just mental intensity and focus. We jump off sides. And then they score. And on the onside kick, we didn't break on the ball. And that's on us as coaches. We've got to do a better job of getting our players understanding situational football. We can go attack the ball, and we have an opportunity to get great field position in that situation. And we didn't take advantage of it. So I don't know necessarily if we lost composure. I think we lost some focus. We lost some mental intensity in the 4th quarter for sure.
Steve, after Georgia scored the touchdown on the first drive, you defense had you go punt, towards you got 19 help. How crucial is it for your offense to kind of come with something?
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. We had the pretty good first drive. We had another pretty good drive. We get the interception in the red area. But we dropped some passes. We missed a couple throws. We get some holding penalties, and so we kind of had some self-inflicted wounds in there where I felt like we had a pretty good plan. but we weren't able to stack it all together, to make it all work. But to your point, yeah, you gotta play complementary football in games like this, and our inability to do that in the first half was pretty glaring. Like I said, I thought in the third quarter, when we cut it to a 14-10 game, it was like, okay, let's go play. And we just couldn't put it all together. We couldn't tie offense, defense, special teams all together tonight.
On your far right over here, Coach. Dennis?
Coach, as far as CFP chances, do you still feel like you have that character to give?
We got a 2-week season in front of us. We got to go play. We got 2 games. It's 2 weeks. Let's go play. Let's put our best foot forward and see what happens.
Middle, Anwar, because I know you haven't had a chance to look at the defense over the last 3 games. It's kind of been uncharacteristic as far as some of the leagues are concerned. Have you seen any comments as you know what's going on over there?
No, I mean, to tie it all together from the last games to this game, I'm not exactly sure. I know we got hurt some on some perimeter throws, on some easier completions, and we thought we started to tighten up coverage-wise there, but it's kind of too many free completions. Obviously, a lot of the bootleg type plays hurt us tonight. You know, people leaking out the back door, whether it was the tight ends, receivers, running backs at different times, and so our eye control or eye discipline, I think, needs to improve there. But probably the biggest area where we got to get back to playing is in the red area on defense. You know, we're not forcing field goals, and we're not creating turnovers, and you know, so we got to get back to playing better red zone defense. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
In the middle, Bob?
You have a bunch of explosive plays in the first half. Frustrating as it's not able to finish on some of those drives. And then is this a humbling loss, or how do you feel?
It's a frustrating loss. I would say that. It's frustrating because you feel like you're prepared to play. I really did. I felt like our players were really engaged, ready to go. I thought our staff was, everybody was. And like I said, it's a 14-10 game against a really good team on the road. Let's go play the fourth quarter. And us just not playing the fourth quarter anywhere close to what the standard is around here is very disappointing and frustrating. I can't remember the first part.
Just the explosive.
Yeah, again, to your point on that, as well as saying earlier, it's like there's so many kind of self-inflicted things offensively for us that was probably the most frustrating part for me. Because I don't think it was like, man, we couldn't block them. I mean, I felt like we were blocking okay. I felt like we were getting open. I felt like when we wanted to run it, it was effective. When we wanted to throw it, it was effective. But kind of stubbing our own toe was the frustrating part to me, where, to your point, stacking plays on top of plays. That's what we need to do against quality opponents.
Middle center?
Steve, what do you say to you guys in the fourth quarter when it starts to go downhill like it did, and how do you keep that from carrying over?
I don't think it'll carry over. We have too much character in that locker room. We got too good of a culture. That part is something that I know the leadership in that locker room. We got a ton of fighters. So that's I got other concerns. That one's not my big one.
On your right, Kirby?
Steve, is there something about Georgia and their style of play that's been a rough matchup for your team?
They're a good team. You know, they're a good team, and you know, I think that the first time around, we played a really poor first half, and we fought our tails off in the second half. Very similar. It was a 23-15 game. They went on a 90-yard drive and made it a 30-15 game, and then you're playing catch-up in the fourth quarter. SEC championship game, we played really well. We didn't put the ball in the end zone. We missed some field goals. We go to overtime and lose. And tonight, it's 14-10 going into the fourth quarter. So I don't think it's necessarily a style of play. But I do think we've got to find a way. When you're playing these types of teams, these quality opponent teams, you've got to play all 60 minutes, and you've got to tie it all together from the front end to the back end, and you need all 3 phases. And we weren't able to do that tonight.
Stay over here. Kevin?
Steve, the onside kick, did y'all see them do anything like that? And that seemed like a little bit of a backbreaker at that point.
Yeah, not that onside kick in particular, but we knew where we might be vulnerable to one. We actually practiced that kick in practice with anticipation that it might occur, and we didn't feel the ball, you know. And so, you know, it was a risk they were willing to take because it's a 21-10 game. We field that ball. We're getting the ball in the plus 45, and with offense with some momentum to go score, they took the risk and they recovered it. And inevitably, those are momentum-changing plays for sure in games. Any game in particular, but in games like this, those are momentum-changing plays. They took the risk. They made the play. You know, and it was a heck of a kick and nice recovery by them.
Back left, Terry.
Coach, are there a couple of areas that you really liked about this team when they played that goes to the statement?
I know our guys came ready to play. I know we played hard. I know we competed. Obviously, a very frustrating fourth quarter for everybody. But I don't want the fourth quarter to be the overriding, that's all that happened in the game. That was one quarter of the game. I thought we played pretty good for 3 quarters. Now, we need to play better. We played hard, but the fourth quarter was, for lack of better terms, a disaster. We got beat 21-0 in the fourth quarter.
2 last ones. Hey, CJ, go ahead. Evan?
Hey, Coach, just how would you assess Sarge Manning's play?
I thought he competed well. I wish we could have made a couple more plays for him, especially early in the game in the first half. I thought there was a couple throws there that he was high on. I thought the interception was a little high, but I thought he competed. Thought he made some throws. Again, I wish we could have been maybe a little better around him, especially in the first half.
Last one over here on the far right.
You sort of touched on it, but can you speak just to the challenge of facing a Kirby Smart coach team, both in his preparation and the game day decision making?
Yeah, no, they're a great team. He's a good coach. They got good schemes in all 3 phases. They got really good players. And to their credit, that's why they've been kind of the standard of college football for the last 10 years. And so I've always loved the challenge of playing them, and I'm going to love the challenge the next time we get an opportunity to play.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, y'all, thank you. Safe travels.
The whole game management crew. It's our early atmosphere, like we got there for warm-ups, it was really good. The impact of the game, we started fast on offense. That was a big key to the success of the game, to play with a lead and try to play from ahead. I'm really proud of our Texas kids. It's really important to them. Got four or five of those guys, and then Clark Gunner, resiliency. He bounced back from the pick, and that's going to happen. He played really well, and Mike continues to put things, and the offensive staff put things on his plate. He handles them. And proud of the defensive performance we had tonight, the third downs, the pass rush, the control of the run game. It was a total team effort, so really proud of the guys. Happy for them. I bet you he's taken 250 reps of that in his time being here, and he kept asking me, when are we ever going to call it, Coach? I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it. And it just felt like it was there. They got the best returner in the country. I'd already seen him enough. One time about burst through a hole that an 18-wheeler could have gone through, and we got a holding call that prevented it, but I wouldn't kick it to him again. I'd just soon kick it to one of those front guys.
Hello everybody, welcome in here. JoeyWagnerTheTruth Wagner with you in the Truth Serum. Thank you so much for watching the Arch Manning, Steve Sarkisian Postgame Press Conference as it got ugly at the end in Athens. Georgia with a 35-10 win over Sark, Arch, and the Longhorns. This was a 14-10 game. Going into the fourth quarter, but Georgia got a touchdown to make it 24-10. Then Kirby Smart went with an onside kick. Georgia recovered that, and they went right down to get another touchdown. So a double banger put this game out of reach and turned it into a rout. So this defeat tonight will probably turn out the lights on the playoff appearance for Texas in the college football playoff. They started off the game well. They started with an opening drive field goal, but that was pretty much all the momentum that they were able to gather in this game. Arch Manning finished 27 of 43, 251 yards, a passing touchdown, threw a pick in the first half. In Georgia, they were barking all night long. Gunner Stockton, what a game for the Bulldogs quarterback. 4 passing touchdowns, added another on the ground. Georgia elite as ever. if everything remains status quo, it might be a Georgia A&M battle for the SEC, but we will see. Final score 35-10, Georgia over Texas. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.